Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we will make a start. First of all, my apologies for not starting at 12 noon as advertised. We had an important piece of work that had to be finished. You should have the agenda for this special meeting in front of you. First of all, apologies for absence.
Apologies for absence from councillors Bond, Bywater, Giles, Maguire, Rogers and Smith.
Okay, I think that covers everybody. And are there any declarations of interest at this stage? Okay, we'll then go on to the meeting. The main meeting is the response to the Police and Crime Commissioner's consultation. As you're only too aware, we've just spent 2 hours agreeing the final response. All that needs to be done now is dotting the I's and crossing the T's. We don't have the final document to give you at this very moment because that little bit of work has got to be done. But you're all aware of its contents and you've all had an opportunity to contribute. Equally, all members of the Fire Authority who are not here today have had an opportunity, and indeed some did, make their comments which we incorporated where appropriately. So I would like to be of the view at the end of the meeting that all Fire Authority members are signed up and support our joint response. Now, the response is on the overhead. At the moment, it was a restricted document for obvious reasons. We're now in a public forum, so from now on, it's a public document. If we do agree, formally agree it, who are we going to circulate it to? And I think that's something that we need to agree probably at this point. The circulation list so far that I think is appropriate, please add to it. These Cambridgeshire County Council members and senior officers, Peterborough City Council members, senior officers, all of our staff, Cambridgeshire Fire and Rescue staff, all members of staff, the Police and Crime Commissioner, Fire Brigades Union, Unison, the Retained Firefighters Union. And equally, I think it would be strengthen our case, and I think it would be more democratic across the counties or a county-wide body to actually circulate it to district councils and indeed parish councils with a covering note suggesting they may wish to respond to the consultation.
And City Council, Cambridge City Council.
I beg your pardon. Yes, absolutely. I did miss Cambridge City Council, you're quite correct. And thank you. You wouldn't have missed it in reality, but it's a slip of my words. Is there anybody? Yes.
Yeah, I'm glad you put in parish councils because I was meeting last night in my parish council of Ufford were extremely interested, and they were all going to go on the Police Commissioner's website and say no. But it's good to send them to parish council. Just remind me about radio and television because the Police Commissioner made good use of them.
We have got arrangements in hand to do a press release. The key reporters, which are press and media department deal with, will be sent copies of the response as well.
Right. What about the web page?
Sorry?
What about the web page? Will it go on the web page?
It will go on their website as well. I'd like to think we've nearly covered all bases, but I'm sure. Lucy, have you got something?
Just to say that I absolutely agree with the list of people that you've suggested it goes out to. Because Cambridge City is not parished, the sort of parish equivalents are residents' associations. To send a paper copy to all of those might be quite a lot. But I think sending an email to residents' associations that we have contact details for would be helpful. It's possible that you could do that through Cambridge City Council if you just ask Cambridge City Council to send it on, because they probably have easier email lists than Fire Authority.
I think that's something that we can certainly explore through our press and media department.
Thank you.
How much interest there'll be with the press and media, I don't know at this stage. There's a lot of other things going on locally which might occupy them. I have indicated that I'm prepared, if necessary, to do media interviews reflecting your views as we've agreed today. Is there any other organisation or body you think at this early stage we should include? I think we've pretty much covered it, to be honest. Right. Is there anything?
So, Chairman, just one final body.
Please.
You want to send it to LGA?
The LGA? Yeah. Yes, LGA. As I mentioned previously, he didn't seem to show too much interest when I contacted him earlier on, but no reason why we can't send him a copy, none at all.
And presumably it will be on our website.
It'll be on our website, absolutely.
Sorry, should we send it to the shadow minister of fire, not Ecowaste minister? Shouldn't we?
I see no reason why not.
I mean, it is a big issue.
And local MPs, of course. Yes, absolutely. Local MPs, yeah, obvious one. Okay. Well, you haven't got the document in front of you. Part of it's on the screen behind, but what I'm going to ask you to do now is to agree that that's the formal response to this. Sorry, Tom.
Sorry, I think before we agree, Chair, from the point of view of the public, we should make it quite clear why we have got this response. The effort to take us over will cost the public perhaps more and will be less accountable. And it's based on a document which is lacking in evidence, and some of the evidence is very unsound. So it is quite clear that we're all of one mind that this is not on. It's like Roman emperors, proconsuls being pushed in to take over the public services, run public services, make them less accountable. It's power grabbing. Thank you, Chair.
Thank you, and I think that's a fair summary. Yes, it is a very fair summary. If I get involved with the media in any way, I will be making the point that this is a new fire authority with many new members, myself included, and that we came to the process with a fresh set of eyes, no preconceived ideas, and we took the business case as it was at face value and come to our conclusions on that business case alone, which I think is a fair summary. You know, it was all new to us, and the business case failed to convince us in any shape or form.
Just a couple of points again, because this is the public meeting. I think
Yes.
there are a couple of things that's important
Please do.
to say in public. The first is that although the document that will eventually be published as our response isn't precisely the same as the one that's been published for this meeting, it will be very similar to the one that's been published for this report
Slightly different.
that is in the papers for this meeting. We were asking you to go away and make some very kind of small changes which have been discussed at some length.
Yes.
But that basically the document which is attached to the papers for this meeting is very similar to the one that will be eventually published. Secondly, that I think that our response to the Police and Crime Commissioner's business case for the change to the government's arrangements is very much focused on his business case. And that's how it needs to be, and it focuses on the finances and the lack of evidence. I would just like to say that I think there is a fundamental issue about local accountability, and that the thing that the Fire Authority provides that a single person in the shape of a Police and Crime Commissioner cannot provide is that local knowledge, which is actually really, really important for the fire service and for making sure that when the fire service is making decisions, the impact of those decisions on different communities are taken into account at every stage. And that does come out in the document, but the document has to focus on the business case, and I think I wanted to say that publicly, and I think that that's particularly important given the situation that there is in London with the whole Grenfell Towers disaster. I think we need to be very, very mindful of the importance of listening to local people in relation to in relation to fire safety, and that this is something which doesn't come out very strongly in the business in the response because it's a response to the business case. But I do think it's something that people should be mindful of when responding to this.
I think that's a very good point, well made. Yeah, it is focused almost entirely on the business case, as what we're charged to do. Any other comments or points? Yes, Jim?
I think the chair will also need to go to the public to go and respond to the consultation as well.
Yeah.
You know, it's good us saying it, but I think once we put the document on the website, we should ask people to read it and to respond to the GCC's consultation, because it's there for a reason. You know, the more weight we have, the stronger our argument. And I think, you know, out of the two, the public, you know, I know inside my constituents would go on if they were asked the questions. I think it's important that people do respond. If otherwise, we'll be left in a situation where very few respond, and it could be very distorted.
Absolutely, and I'll be reinforcing that point in any press release that's prepared and ready to go, and equally with any covering email or letter to parish and district councils as well, the importance of responding to the consultation. Anybody else? Yes, please.
Chairman, can I just add a small note to this, which is to say thank you to the monitoring officer who's obviously just left, because actually I thought the report, the response, is a very, very clear response, highlighting everything that needs to be highlighted, and doing so in a succinct and very presentable manner. So I think she should be thanked for that. And at the same time, the Hish's back. So I move a vote of thanks to the monitoring officer for her excellent report. And I think we need to be mindful of the fact that we are talking about, we're talking about the future of an organisation actually, because whilst I'm sure on the operational side, the future, there wouldn't be perhaps that much change. Any change is unsettling for people who are employed by the authority, and the senior management team downwards needs to be congratulated on the work they've put into this, but also reassured that we are solidly behind this position that the Fire Authority appears to be heading in, which is to say thank you very much to the Police and Crime Commissioner for his enormous interest in the Fire Authority, but no thank you.
I'd like to second that, and also to make the points that Sebastian's made, that we're solidly behind our Fire Authority and the monitoring officer in the work that's been done and being done. So I'd like to second Sebastian's motion.
Excellent. Some very nice things have been said to you, virtually in your absence, which echo what I said to you privately, what excellent job you've done in perhaps difficult circumstances. I know you've spent a lot of your own private downtime in working on this, and we're very appreciative of that. Equally, I'm very appreciative of our senior officers, because that's been a very fine line they've had to tread, and we've had to try and go through this process without causing them any embarrassment or conflict, and I'd like to think that we've achieved that. It has been a little bit difficult at times. Any other comments before I just affirm the vote? Okay, can you please show that you're supportive for the response as agreed this morning? Thank you, that's unanimous. Well, thank you. I'm going to bring the meeting to a close.